Okay, we've got our sawmill. I think I'm in the frame. I'm going to do a short video on kind of the start to finish. I have not taken off a single plastic band yet. It's still on the crate just like we got it. So from start to finish, it is 3/22, 3/21. I'm going to unbox this thing and hopefully get it all together. I've only got about 4 hours of daylight left, so try to get it all together. We'll do a time lapse, and you'll see how fast one guy by himself can put a Harbor Freight sawmill together. So wish me luck. Okay, everything's out of the box now, except for the beastly part that I haven't figured out yet. But forgot to mention, I'm going to be doing this obviously by myself with just basic tools. So I don't have any equipment, like my tractor doesn't have a front end loader or anything. So I kind of have to get creative getting that thing out of the box. I will say everything did appear to be fairly well packaged. Like others have said, that crate it came in is pretty nice. It's thin steel angle iron, so I'll be able to reuse most of that. And anyway, let me show you what we got after we unboxed here, what we're left with. So get everything laid out. Here's kind of the small pieces, the rollers, the water system. It's about all that's over there. The track, 4 angle pieces that make up the track, and the 5 cross member log support pieces. And then over here, I don't know how I'm gonna get that out of there. 3:34, so it's been 14 minutes since I started, so doing pretty well. Don't have a lot of hope for the instructions. I haven't done a lot of research on how to put this together, but I've seen a couple videos and everyone talks about how terrible these are. You can get this online off the Harbor Freight website too if you want to read it over before you buy it, but not feeling too optimistic. All right, back on the time lapse. Instructions do suck, and I underestimated how heavy the motor is. So I'm going to try, and I don't know if you can see this in the picture or not. There's a old cherry picker engine puller thing hanging over right here that I was going to utilize to pick up heavy logs. I think what I'm going to try to do is drag this crate forward with the tractor and try to get it under that. See if I can lift it up. Yeah, got all Gus hooked up. Left the blade on, so I might be able to pick it up and kind of reduce that friction here we're going to have at the front. Maybe not plow the ground so back. So. first tractor pull. Okay. I've got a strap attached to the motor. I'm gonna put a little chain hoist, 500-pound chain hoist up on that little loop thing, hopefully, and I'll try to pick it up. I didn't want to misinterpret what I'm doing. I'm timing it. We're coming up on an hour, but I'm not in a hurry. You can't do anything safe in a hurry, so be careful. Out of the box. Okay, as you guys can see, I came out here with just a bunch of random blocks, 2x4s, 4x4s. I had a couple 1x, and I just kind of moved them back and forth, up and down along the track until I was level across the short axis, and I have a slight, consistent downhill, just a slight downhill roll across the long axis. And I did that because I'm gonna let gravity work with me just a little bit as I'm making a cut, and then I'll have to push a little bit harder on the way up, but I'm not gonna have the friction of the blade on the wood at that point. So I feel like that's a pretty good compromise there. So none of these bolts are tight yet either, so mainly because I don't know if the track is square and just right all the way down. So I'm gonna get everything level where I want it. Now I'm gonna try to get the chassis on the rails and all that stuff, and then I'm gonna push it up and down until I know it's nice and square all the way, and then I'm gonna go back and tighten everything up. Okay, we got the chassis on the tracks. That was tricky. Let me get out of the frame. What you can see is is so my lift point was not directly above the track. So getting the two uprights, so each set of wheels, two pair of wheels on each side is connected to a vertical tube. And it's gotta go up through here. And then it's gotta come down directly and squarely on the tracks. The problem is that since I was not over the track, I had to push it and lower it down at the same time. I almost called for help. Okay, so, God, I suck. I made a bunch of mistakes today, but here's where we're at. I derailed the chassis earlier. I forgot. I'm not blaming the instructions, but the instructions, they're so bad. They're terrible. So be prepared to screw up because, you know, it's easy. So basically I didn't have the cables distributing the weight on the two posts. So the blade slides up and down on the two uprights. And if you don't have the cables in place, it just kind of, and you know, since I had it suspended, I hadn't even thought about it. So I released the the hoist. I guess it was just kind of in a bind, kind of. Definitely don't trust these handles, like lock it in place, but it's just like a friction clamp. It won't stop it. So what happened was I went ahead and started sliding it, and the motor dipped on one side, fell over. Something else I noticed right at that same time was I didn't leave enough space. Basically the saw blade was hitting that little A-frame, so I was too close to the building, so I had to scoot everything back out, the whole track. I had to lift the motor back up, get everything level again, sloped. But what I wanted to show you was, I had mentioned everything's still loose. Almost derailed again. What I wanted to show you was, see, that was really easy for me to push up. I have it just slightly downward, just enough to where when it's cutting, gravity's gonna help me through the wood. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but it makes sense to me. So now I'm gonna go back through. Now that it tracked up and down, everything's square the way it needs to be. I'm gonna tighten everything just the way it is. Add some more wood supports. Mess with kind of just getting everything tightened up and adjusted, and I might be done before dark. It is 7:20. I can't remember what time it was when I started. A little after 3. I think it might have been 3:21. I think 3 hours and 59 minutes by myself. Since we spoke last, I derailed it again and had to adjust the track again. Oh boy, 2 people's recommended, but it's ready, it's level. It needs a little bit more supports. This is okay for now. I'm not going to put any wood on it like it is, just supported 4 or 5 places. So this is just for testing. So I'll brace that all up. But as far as just the general assembly, it's ready. I've got a quart of 10W30 in it, which is what it recommends. As long as it's above freezing. Below freezing, it's 5W30, I think. And I went ahead and threw some fuel in it. So let's start it. I haven't tried yet. I just put gas in it. Gas on. Choke. Switch on. Throttle down. Didn't think about this. I'd be jamming my elbow every time I try to start the thing. I don't know how to engage the blade. I guess when I hit the throttle, it will automatically engage. Switch. Off. There it is. One man, 4 hours. Didn't even have a beer. Thanks. See you next time.